Tonight we are on part 7, finally, of our Boundaries of Love series, The Art of a Healthy No. So we're going to do a little recap before we get into it. So we're just waiting for a couple of people to come in, and then we're going to get started. I'm going to give you guys some announcements because some may be listening this evening who, don't get a chance to come on the morning show. So I want to give you guys announcements for tonight as well. So again, thank you everyone for joining me on tonight. We finally made it to part 7, y'all. After a month kind of layoff for the Boss Up Show, had to get some things done, some things accomplished. Big boy, good morning. Oh my God. Good evening. I'm so used to ride to work with Angie, y'all. So I may actually say that a couple of times during the show. Just look over me. Y'all know after 5 o'clock, it is past my bedtime. It is past my curfew. But we are up here anyway on this evening. So just bear with me, y'all. Chancellor, good evening. Hey, my A1 from day one. Roach is in the building this evening. Finally got up here, Roach. Beautiful D Johnson is in the building. I don't know if you got a chance, D. Check your inbox. Good evening, Lisa. How are you, beautiful? It was long. Don't I look tired? Elaine. Good evening. There I go. I was going to say good morning. So thank you guys for joining me. We're going to get this started. And after this, we are going to have our announcements. What is wrong with that? Y'all know I don't be thinking right after 5. But I'm finally here. Wanna testify and make it crystal clear that I've been picked out to be picked on. Talked about my friend's mouth, bent down till he turned my life around. Fall short of being worthy. We're gonna have our announcements after this and get right into part 7. We got some recapping to do, y'all. Superstar spotlight ain't shining on me. I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. And wish I stayed asleep. On top of the world, today the world's on top of me. Have to say about me, fall short of being worthy. I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. I ain't no superstar, the spotlight ain't shining on me. I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. We are in our Boundaries of Love series, y'all. We got 2 more weeks after this, and then we'll be done with it. We're going to move on to our communication series. I have to laugh at myself sometimes. Always fall short of being worthy. Seal, good evening, good evening. Savio, good evening. George, good evening, good evening. But he still loves me. But he still loves me. Mortimer, good evening. I already told y'all if I say good morning, just ignore that. Oh my God. James, good evening, good evening. I ain't good enough, but he still loves me. But he still loves me. God still loves me. Welcome, welcome again, everyone. My name is Angie Pat, aka The Boss, and you guys this evening are on the Boss Up Show. Our announcements for a lot of you guys that are coming in this evening. I see new names, but we are up here also every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Ride to Work with Angie, where we get your heart pumping and your blood boiling as you are preparing for work on your way to work. Or some of you guys may already be pulling into the parking lot, depending on what time zone you're in and what time you have to be there. If you are a first timer coming in, welcome, 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 and I do hope to see you again. Every Wednesday, we're here at 8 p.m. For the Boss Up Show, and we are in our Boundaries of Love series. It is a 9-part series, and we're going to recap since we've been gone for a little while for the Boss Up Show. But we're going to recap tonight so to kind of catch you guys up on what parts 1 through 6 were. If you would like to check out parts 1 through 6, you can go on my YouTube channel at Angie Pat Boss Queen 1. You can also go on Spotify. You can go on iHeartMusic, Apple, and Amazon Music as well, and check out parts 1 through 6. On Saturday, we are bringing back finally the His and Her Show with myself and Chilla the Entertainer. And if you like camaraderie, that comedy, that real talk, real conversation, tune in every Saturday at 8 p.m. and we're launching it back up again this Saturday. So make sure that you guys definitely tune in. Reg Panther has entered the building. Good evening, good evening. If you have not grabbed your copy of Poetic Words from the Boss, it is my first installment. My second installment, Finding Me, is coming out September 15th. You can go to my website, angiepat-bossqueen.net, and look under the merchandise tab. You can also find my store, APBQ Lux with an E. It stands for Angie Pat Boss Queen Luxury. And we're bringing classy and sexy back. So check that out. You can either go to apbqlux.com. You can go to my website, angiepat-bossqueen.net. You can pick up t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, jogging pants, shoes, whatever your little heart desires. And for those of you all who this is your first time, I am a very, very early morning person. So like my curfew is after 5 o'clock. So I'm like already 3 hours past my curfew. So just ignore some of the outburst of giggles because I'm just a little sleepy. I get like a little kid and I just, giggle sometimes. So don't pay it no mind. It's real. The show is in real time. So anything could happen, to be honest. But we have fun up here. We have real talk, real conversation. And so we are dedicated in this season to looking at life in a different perspective, to love ourselves, to set boundaries. We had the control series a few months ago, and we just talked about, whether we were controlling or we were being controlled by someone else and calling it love or calling it, a relationship or a friendship. And so we talked about that, and we carried it over into the Boundaries of Love series, which we are in right now. So again, if you miss any of the shows, you can go to my YouTube page, you can go to iHeart, you can go to Apple, Amazon, as well as Spotify. Also, October 1st, I'm launching my new show, Angie, A-N-G-I-E, A Neighborhood Guide to Incredible Everything. So I'm hitting the pavement, and which you can find those things as well on my website under Service and Resource tab. But I'm hitting the pavement. I'm going to find those people, places, and things that make a difference in the neighborhood, in the communities, in our lives. The bag boy at the grocery store that really doesn't have to bag your groceries, but he does just because. And we are seeing so many negative things that are going on in the world, but I'm looking for positivity, those gems that people tend to overlook, right? So definitely tune in. That's October 1st. Also, I'm waiting to get information for the dates for the release parties for Poetic Words from the Boss. I know it's going to be one in Jersey. It's going to be one in Chicago. And that's all I know right now. As I get information, me being the boss, I get the information last. But that's okay. I'm cool with that. I got enough that I have to remember. I don't remember half of what I'm supposed to remember. But as I find out, then you guys will find out. Or if you watch Chilla Spotlight, Chilla Speaks, you guys may find out something on there. Because I don't be knowing stuff. And what I do know, y'all know because of the time, I really don't remember a lot of stuff anyway. So catch me in the morning and you might get a little bit more information. I'll be wide awoke in the morning when the chickens crow. So we are going to move right along to our part 7 of the Boundaries of Love series, and we are talking about tonight the art of a healthy no. So I'm going to do a little recap so that those of you all who have been following will remember, because I know y'all like Angie, and doggone well we don't remember that long back on part 6. So I'm going to give you guys a recap, and for those of you who are just coming on, the recap will be good for you as well, and kind of catch you up and on where we are right now so that we can keep moving. Okay. So what's up, Boss Up family? Welcome back to another Wednesday night on the Boss Up Show. It is your girl, Angie Pat, live in the building. If you're here, drop your city in the chat. Let me know who is in the room. We are in the middle of our powerful series, The Boundaries of Love. And tonight, we are going to liberate some people, to liberate ourselves. So go ahead and hit the share button, tag a sister, tag someone who has been running on empty because their yes has been costing them their peace. So before we even get into the word, let's do a quick heart check. I want you to answer honestly. On a scale of 1 to 10, how tired are you right now? Mine would be like on 100. On a scale of 1 to 10. Don't pay me no mind, y'all. I am fully rested. I am living in my sanctuary. And if one more person asks me for a favor, I may lose my mind. I know I've been there. Hey, cuz. Hello, beautiful. My beautiful Stephanie. Cousin Stephanie is in the building. Where is that where some of you all are? I know sometimes I get like that. Like, like, I got enough going on. Like, like, I can't do this. I can't do that, right? Do you understand that, like, I have stuff going on? Do you understand that people have stuff going on? You got people in your life that know that you're going through something, but yet and still, it's like, well, I need you to. Can you? And because of who they may be, because maybe how long you've known them, then we tend to do this yes thing, right? That's not healthy. And we're learning how to, we're learning the art of a healthy no on tonight. So we're going to connect the dots. So before we step into tonight's revelation, we have to look back at the trail that we've blazed. This whole series, The Boundaries of Love, has been a step-by-step masterclass in reclaiming your space, your spirit, and your calling. So let's do a quick roll call of where we've been. In part 1, we talked about the foundation. We defined love. We established what biblical and authentic love actually looks like versus cultural codependency and emotional manipulation. Part 2, we talked about the 4 Greek loves, mapping out the distinct boundaries, expectations, and dynamics of storge, which is the family affection, philia, the friendship or brotherly love, eros, romantic or passionate love, and agape, unconditional and divine love. In part 3, we discussed the parents and children, navigating generational boundaries, establishing healthy adult autonomy, breaking toxic cycles, and parenting with discipline. In part 4, we talked about the leave and cleave mandate. We dove deep into the relational priorities, learning how to detach from old patterns, from toxic expectations, and generational habits so that we could fully step into our current assignment. In part 5, we talked about crossing the lines and the anatomy of a breach. We dissected how to spot when a line is being crossed, identifying subtle disrespect, manipulation, and the slow erosion of your peace before it turns into full-out chaos. In part 6, we hit the emergency brake. We learned when to use a hard stop. We dealt with the extreme. When a relationship moves from difficult to dangerous, toxic, or spiritually unsafe, we are not to negotiate. We are to pull the hard stop emergency brake to prevent immediate destruction. Now look at the progression. From defining your perimeter in part 1, all the way to pulling the emergency brake in part 6. We now know how to identify, to enforce, and to protect our space in a crisis. But here's the real talk for you tonight. You cannot live your entire life in emergency mode. If you're constantly slamming on the emergency brake, your engine is going to burn out. The emergency brake is for the crisis. But what about our daily lives? How do we prevent the crisis from happening in the first place? That's where we cross the bridge tonight. We transition from the emergency hard stop of part 6 into the daily, elegant, proactive shield of part 7, the healthy no. A healthy no keeps you out of emergency mode because you stop letting toxic cargo cross your perimeter in the first place. So, for me, my purpose for doing this series of the Boundaries of Love is understanding. We had to start at the beginning and we had to understand what love is. And who better to ask what love is than the person who is love, the person who created love, God, right? But even with us, God has boundaries. Even with us, God disciplines us. He chastens us. The Bible says he's chastening those whom he loves. Right? We got people, and we may have people, or have had, or still have people in our lives where we allow guilt or manipulation or narcissism to prevent us from setting boundaries, prevent us from saying no, right? Because people like, well, you're supposed to love me, and how you say it, no, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do that. But when I learn to love myself, I can set those boundaries in love. And if you love me, you'll respect those boundaries. Nobody said you had to agree with my boundaries. You know how you hear people say, well, they don't got to like me, but they're going to respect me. I know that was bad English. It's after 5 o'clock. Okay. But people say they don't gotta like me, but they have to respect me, right? It's the same thing. You don't have to agree. People don't have to agree with your boundaries. But if they love you, they should. Won't mind respecting them, right? So let's dismantle the lie first. Why is saying no so terrifying to us? Either we don't know how to say it, either we're not strong enough to say it, or either we say it with a explanation. And I learned that a few years ago, because it was always like no. And the reason I'm saying no now, I'm just at the point like it's just no. I ain't doing that. I don't got time for that. I don't want to do that. Because we have to get to a point where if we do not set boundaries, just think if, and there are things, yes, God gives us free will, right? But there are some things that God just won't allow us to do. Like in our flesh, we want to do them, but it's just something that he put in us, that certain things he just will not allow us to do. Those boundaries, right? And when we set those boundaries for other people, when it comes to us, why does it seem to be an issue? Why does it seem to be a problem? And why do we take that as they won't love me? So we're going to dismantle this tonight. We were conditioned, especially those of us with big hearts, helpers, creators, leaders, and people of faith, to believe that no is selfish. We think yes equals love and no equals rejection. But a yes born out of guilt is a counterfeit yes. When you say yes to someone else, but your soul is screaming no, you aren't serving them in love. You're operating in resentment. You are giving them a dry, exhausted, frustrated version of yourself. That is not kingdom work. That is codependency. And a lot of us do that. You ever been like so tired, right? And somebody will call you and you're like, I haven't been feeling well. And I'm not going out today. Like, I really haven't been feeling well. My pressure's been up. My gout been acting up. My knees been swelling. All that kind of stuff. My sugar been shooting through the roof. Right? And you say, I'm going to get me some rest. I have to rest today for my own safety, for my own health. Right? Somebody calls you. Maybe somebody you've been knowing for 30, 40 years. Maybe it's a close family member. Oh, baby, I need you to take me to the store. Why is it so hard to say, I can't do that right now? And yeah, we get to the point where it's like, I don't want to be selfish. But somebody said that today. Sometimes you have to be selfish. And I really don't even call it selfishness. I just call it peace. I call it a boundary. Do you think maybe I could take you tomorrow because I'm really not feeling up to it today? Well, I really need to go to the store, and, I don't have nobody else to take me, and I don't have no food. Why'd you let your food get down that far? And then I know it sounds cruel, right? Well, why'd you let your food get down till you have no more food? Now I'm supposed to put my health at risk to come out and take you to the store. And yes, it may sound mean, but it's a boundary, y'all. I love myself enough. Can you please give me till tomorrow? I'll be glad to take you tomorrow. Just let me catch up on my blood pressure medication. Let me catch up on my gout medication. And let me take my insulin, because I ain't been taking it like I'm supposed to. And I will gladly take you tomorrow. Why should the other person not understand that? Why should you even have to go through all that? Because we're not setting boundaries for ourselves. So, what is the art of a healthy no? 1, it is clear. A healthy no doesn't need a 20-minute backstory. No is a complete sentence all by itself. When you over-explain, you give people leverage to negotiate your boundary. 2, it is gracious but firm. You don't have to roll your eyes or start a fight to say no. You can say it with a smile. Thank you so much for thinking of me, but I don't have the capacity to do this right now. 3, it's an act of stewardship. God did not give you unlimited emotional, physical, or spiritual capacity. Your energy is a resource, and if you give it all away to keep everybody else comfortable, you will have nothing left to give to your calling, to your family, or your own healing. You heard that saying about if you pour everything you have into somebody else, who's pouring back into you? We just pour and pour and pour. I was talking to a young lady the other day, and I said, sweetheart, she's much younger than I am. And I said, sweetheart, you really need to start thinking about yourself sometime. And she says, well, I got that kind of heart. I got a big heart too, but I told her, baby, as you get older, you'll understand. You'll understand by and by. Because first of all, everything that we get is not meant for everybody. And she went on to explain how I'm just like that. I just like to do for other people. Me too. But you will quickly learn that you will burn yourself out. You will quickly learn that when you pour everything that you have into everybody else, and you look around for somebody to pour back into you, there is no one. That's why even in the morning we talk about how to associate ourselves and to allow people access to us who don't mind pouring back into us, who don't mind encouraging us, who don't mind uplifting us. I was talking to somebody today, and I had asked them to do me a favor. And they said, oh, no problem. No problem, I'll do it. And I said, I'm going to let people know about this, right? And they go, no, I don't want to do that. I want to stay in the background. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because why should I only think about myself when other people are pouring into me? That's not fair. That's not right. So we have to begin to live a lifestyle of setting boundaries, not when we get angry, not when we're frustrated, because as we just talked about, no doesn't have to be angry. You don't have to hoop, holler, shout, cuss, and you don't have to explain. Now, if you choose to, that's just what you choose to do. And, most people say, well, I really can't do it today because, I'm hurting a little bit, but I'll do it tomorrow. I'm talking about these people who you try to set boundaries and they just continue to step cross those lines. No, we're not explaining ourselves like that. So we're setting boundaries tonight. Now, let's take this straight to the word, because I want you to know that boundaries are not a modern self-help trend. Boundaries are a divine design. Now let's look at Matthew 5:37. But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these, cometh of evil. Look at how clear Jesus is. He didn't say yes and then explain yourself for 3 hours so nobody gets offended. He said, God said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. There is power in simplicity. When we add fluff, guilt, or false promises to our boundaries, we open the door for confusion and manipulation. And I think we've all been there. Like, I really don't feel like doing it, so I'm going to say no, but then I'm going to make up something. We just volunteer information. Just volunteer a lot. Just ridiculous we are. Let's also look at how Jesus modeled this. In Mark 1:35-38, the Bible tells us that Jesus got up early in the morning, went to a desolate place and prayed. When Simon and the disciples finally tracked him down, they told him, everyone is looking for you. They had a demand. They had a need. But Jesus looked at them and said, let us go on to the next towns, that I may preach there also. For that is why I came out. Jesus said no to a crowd of people who wanted his attention because he had a specific assignment from his Father. And a lot of times we so busy saying yes to the wrong thing, to the thing that's not important, to things that are not our problem, not our issue, not our assignment, that we completely miss our blessing, or we delay it. Because we saying yes to all this other stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with us. If Jesus had to say no to good things to protect his ultimate yes, what makes you think you can say yes to everybody? I want everyone to take a deep breath right now. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Repeat this. It's our affirmation. Before we do our affirmation, we have to learn how to say no. We get so up in age that we think that we have life down pat. And the more that I do these shows, the more that I do these series, I realize how much I don't know. Right? So, I want you to write a polite, firm no to something that has been draining you this week. Give yourself permission to feel what it feels like to draw that line without apologizing. So we're going to do a few scenarios, because in this series, we've been doing scenarios so we can, try to get this mental picture in our mind of what it is that we would do, or maybe what it is that we would have done, but maybe we're rethinking our actions, right? So scenario 1, the guilt-tripping family member. We all got some of those, right? So every time I say no to lending money to a specific family member who refuses to get a job, they hit me with, family is supposed to help family, and make me feel like a terrible Christian. How do you handle that? First of all, let's separate helping from enabling. The next time they hit you with that guilt trip, your answer is, I love you too much to fund a pattern that is keeping you stuck. I am praying for your breakthrough, but my financial boundary stands. And then end the conversation. Let me tell you why this works. It disarms the manipulation. It directly addresses the love argument. Because, people be like, well, if you really love me. So it addresses the love argument by reframing your no as an act of genuine tough love rather than malice. It stops the negotiation. By clearly stating, my financial boundary stands, you close the door to endless back and forth debate. Here's the kingdom alignment. True stewardship never requires you to finance someone else's irresponsibility under the guise of Christian duty. Here's our second scenario, the after hours work demands. Your boss keeps sending urgent emails and tasks at 9 p.m. on weekdays and over the weekend. I'm afraid if I don't answer, I'll look lazy or I'll get passed over for a promotion. How do I say no without ruining my career? Here's the answer. You set the standard during working hours. And sometimes we be like, we think about different stuff. I'm going to finish the answer. But we think about different stuff and we make stuff so hard. Some stuff is just common sense. Some stuff is just, you know what, I need to set this boundary and step back. And as they say, and let it do what it do. Right? During the day, say, I want to make sure I'm giving my best focused energy to these projects during business hours. Moving forward, any messages sent after 6 p.m. will be prioritized first thing the following morning. Then turn off your work notifications. Let me tell you why this works. Frames no as quality control. You aren't saying I won't work. You're saying I protect my focus so my work product stays high quality. It sets operational hours. It establishes predictable boundaries so your employer knows exactly when to expect your output. And my favorite line, it teaches people how to treat you. Because you are the only one that can do that. If you respond at 9 p.m., then you train them that 9 p.m. is open season. Turning off notifications enforces the boundary silently. Here's our last scenario. I finally stood my ground and told a friend that I couldn't host their last-minute event at my house. They said okay, but now I feel a pit of anxiety in my stomach, and I want to text them and take it back. How do I get rid of this guilt? Here's the answer. What you're feeling is a boundary hangover. Anxiety is not proof that you did something wrong. It's just proof that you're breaking an old habit of people-pleasing. Take a breath, close your phone, and remind yourself that comforting their disappointment is not worth sacrificing your peace. Let them feel their feelings while you enjoy your quiet house. And we have to get to that point. We are in a stage and a journey in our lives now where we are looking at things in a different perspective, right? We're looking at things mentally differently, emotionally differently, psychologically differently, right? Spiritually differently, right? So we can't have these same behaviors and expect different results, right? Hey, V, how are you, love? It validates emotion without giving in. It normalizes the discomfort so that the viewer doesn't mistake, so that the person doesn't mistake temporary anxiety for spiritual guilt or a bad decision. Thank you for the rose, V. It separates ownership. It reinforces that other people's emotional reactions to your healthy boundaries are their responsibility to process, not yours to fix. When we set boundaries, that's it. I'm setting this boundary. Now, what you do with that, how you process that, that's between you and God. Because I already told you this is how far I'm going. This is my boundary. And we have to be okay with that. We spend so much time people pleasing and saying yes. And it's a way to do it. And if people really love you, they will love the boundaries that you set. Not even out of agreement, but out of love and respect. If someone says, Angie, do not call me after 9 o'clock, that's a boundary. So I know that if I got something going on after 9 o'clock, that I need to find somebody else to talk to. Unless it's like a life and unalive situation. But I need to find somebody else to talk to. I need to find somebody else to help me deal with what I'm dealing with, because that person said that, hey, Ange, could you not call me after 9? I don't even want to know why. Maybe they got to get up early in the morning. Maybe they just don't want to be bothered after 9 o'clock. How about that? How about I'm grown and after 9 o'clock I just don't want to be bothered with no explanation or equivocation. Absolutely, V. We have to have boundaries. People will just run over us, and you really find out who loves you when you don't set boundaries and they cool with that. Just look around in the circle that you have. You may have to be in a circle or co-workers or whatever. And you wondering why they always asking me to do something right at 4:59. But then they walking out the door at 4:55. Yes, I know what I just said. Think about it. Right? That's because you have set no boundaries. And apparently, they don't even respect you to say, Angie might have something to do too at 5 o'clock. So I'm not going to ask. I'll just wait till tomorrow. Right? But I know that's kind of like common sense, and that's kind of like a lot of people don't have that. We just have boundaries simply trying to get people to understand common sense, which that's not common sense to me. Common sense and boundaries are two different things. But apparently in this society, they kind of intertwine and run together. Go figure, right? It protects the progress. It prevents the urge to backtrack, ensuring the boundary actually stays intact long enough to build new, healthy relational habits. Right? So, in order to grow, you have to set boundaries. You have never seen a 500 Fortune company with no boundaries, no rules, no structure be successful. Right? It is so structured. It is just, so detailed oriented, right? Because they are trying to prosper. They try to make money. They try to keep their employees because there are boundaries there. What I love about life is that the natural and the spiritual run parallel. Hey, Tay, how are you, baby? If God sets boundaries when it comes to us, and that is going to actually be that's going to be my response from now. When people act like they don't understand my boundaries. God is God. He's the ultimate. He's the one true living God. He's the creator of heaven and earth, right? If God has boundaries, I'm nowhere near equal. So I should have boundaries too. You should have boundaries too, and be okay with those boundaries. Because if people really love you, this series is the boundaries of love. If people really love you, they'll understand your boundary. Some may understand and like it, and some may actually agree with it as well. Some may not like it or agree with it, but they respect it. Well, I don't agree with that because I think that because I've been knowing them for 30 years, that they should pick up the phone whenever I call. But I'm going to respect their boundary and not call them after 9 o'clock. We grown. Everybody not gonna like our decisions and what we decide for our lives and how we choose to live our life and what boundaries we set for ourselves. I'm not gonna like all yours. You're not gonna like all mine. But the respect of it all is what matters because that's what shows the love. that you simply respect my boundaries. I didn't ask you to. Boundaries ain't set to be asked if you agree, because that ain't a boundary. If I'm asking you, I'm just using you as an example. If I'm asking B, like, B, I got a boundary. Do you do you agree with it? What? That's not a boundary. That's like is it a request? It is not a boundary. And in this time and season, you better set some boundaries and you better stick to them and be okay with them. A lot of things that we got going on mentally, emotionally, psychologically is because we spread ourselves so thin. I was talking to somebody today, and I was like, I know that I am looking at certain things in a different perspective, because there was a time when I would just completely wear myself out. I would move a whole house, put everything together, pack, unpack in one day, because I had no boundaries. Some things is just kind of like you have to go back and understand, like we talked about earlier, the simplicity of it, of a no. Sometimes we have to set boundaries with ourselves as well, believe it or not. Because now I'm at the point when I was talking to somebody on the phone and I said, I have to-do lists every day. But my boundaries now for myself are, Angie, we ain't going to be unalive trying to get this to-do list done. Because the to-do list will be there and we won't be there. So sometimes we have to set boundaries for ourselves, right? Angie, you didn't get all this done, and we're not rushing to get the rest done. Add that to the to-do list for tomorrow and keep it moving. Boundaries are not just set for other people. You better learn how to set boundaries for yourself, because this is the boundaries of love. When you love yourself, you set boundaries. And we start with the man and women in the mirror. We at this age and stage of the game, a lot of us have maybe been through trauma, experienced trauma, dealt with childhood issues that we ain't started unpacking yet, or maybe we in the midst of unpacking it, but we don't have that, some people don't have that self-worth to say, I deserve to have boundaries. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be heard. I deserve, to be understood that I'm worth having a boundary, and I'm worth you respecting that boundary. We have been talking about all different types of love and how boundaries fit in throughout this whole series. We talked about the child and parent love, right? Well, you my parent, so you supposed to do what? After you get a certain age. We were talking about adult children now. We ain't talking about child abuse. You telling that to a toddler. I'm talking about the adult kids, right? You have to set boundaries. We talked about, the marriage and how, in-laws and other people inside your marriage. Boundaries. Everything in life needs a boundary. And if people can't respect those boundaries that you set, you need to find some other friends. And that's real. That's real. People don't be letting people tell you, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you. But as soon as you set a boundary, they guilt trip you. They gaslight you. They manipulate you. They pull the victim card or the narcissism card. You need to find you some other folks to be around, because that ain't it at all. So we are going to do, just like we do in the morning, begin to live a lifestyle. We have to sit and take an audit. What boundaries am I not setting? What boundaries have I set and still allow people to cross those lines? What boundaries do I need to go back and revamp and put back into action and stand on those boundaries? And then, because I really need to see who really loves me. instead of people just saying, yeah, 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 yeah. But anyway, I still need you to do that. You know, people do that too. So we are going to begin the art, practicing the art of a healthy no. You want to know who really on your side, who really loves you? Start saying no. you be like, where did everybody go? Because people don't like to hear no. So we are going to just, when we do, hey, cuz. You saw that? You saw that? You know what that meant. Okay. Thank you. So how we always talk about in the morning, well, thank the Lord. There is a God. We've been talking about in the morning how, even if we ain't delivered all tonight, but we are going to begin in practicing the art of a healthy no. We're going to begin that lifestyle because it's a lifestyle. And we've gotten so accustomed to saying yeah, or accustomed to doing stuff that people start getting a spirit of entitlement. Like you better say yes to me. And why? That ain't written in the handbook. So we are going to begin this journey of practicing the art of a healthy no. So you have the tools, you have the scripture, and you have the affirmation. But remember, once you master the no, you clear out the toxic weeds. You are left with beautiful, protected space. You know what? Cuz I know, but when we were younger, we felt that we had to explain our no, right? Because we didn't want to say, because we older now. Like, it'd be like, And you get the neck roll and the eye roll, and then somebody asks, well, why did you say no? Right? She said, that's the Leo in me. Look, no judgment here. Because now I get a joy. Like, I ain't, what? You talking to me? I ain't going to be able to do that. That's my thing. I ain't going to be able to do that. I don't got the time. I got time. It's my favorite thing. Sometimes I say it, and I really shouldn't say it, but he's still working on me. But I bet you I ain't saying yes to everything no more either. I have to find that balance. Because there's a balance. I've always been a black and white kind of girl. I'm learning that there's a gray area in there somewhere. And it's kind of like walking on quicksand. Like, yeah. Because I'm a yes-no type person. I don't got time. I don't got time for the gray area. I don't got time for the striped area, the what may be and what may not be. I'm a northeast, southwest type of girl. All that southwest, northeast, I know. Now, if we going north or we going south. And all that north, south, you know what I mean? Absolutely. Baby, Christians under construction. Some of us got to be gutted out. You know how it be just mold in the walls and they just can't paint over it. They got to actually gut the house. So I understand, boo. I'm one of those. I had to be gutted. They couldn't just throw a little paint up there for me. I had to be completely gutted out. Get all new framework, new plumbing. I'm so jealous. It's after 5 o'clock. Don't judge me. Okay. But what are you going to grow there in that protected space that we are now beginning to build? So I hope that, that this gave you guys a little bit of insight. It helped me, but it also helped me, because sometimes we could say no and really not put it in perspective. right? We're not just trying to learn how to say no. We're talking about the art of a healthy no. Sometimes we say no just to be evil and mean. Yep, that be me sometimes. Help me, Jesus, today. It do. It just be me. I just be like, nope. Just because I can, and that's not right. I'm being honest. When you say, I'm learning too. We talking about the art of a healthy no, right? So, as we are on this journey of, continuing our boundaries of love, and on this journey of a healthy no, we are going to pick up next week where we are going to be on part 8, and we're going to be talking about cultivating clean soil. We're going to learn how to change our, here go this little puzzle. I ain't seen one of these in a little while. We're going to learn how to change our internal environment so that whatever we plant in this new, quiet, protected space actually takes root and flourishes. So I want to thank everybody for coming up tonight. I thank you guys. Quite a few of you guys came up, and because this is my first Wednesday back on in a while, thank you so much. The response was really good. I appreciate all of you all that interact with me, because I'm not a big I, little you type person. I like to, for you guys to interact and we have conversations, virtual conversations, because I am not the only one that has opinions or ideas or experiences. So thank you everyone that did give me that shared, tonight, whatever the comment was. I thank you guys. Thank you for your support through the Boss Up Show. The Boss Up Show started almost 6 years ago, and we are still here. So I want to thank you guys for rocking with me tonight. Make sure to head over to angiepat-bossqueen.net to keep up with all things the APBQ Luxe. You can go over there and get your hats, your shirts, hoodies, mugs, shoes, jogging pants. Also, make sure that if you haven't yet, that you grab your copy of Poetic Words from the Boss. You can go on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or just go straight to the website and click on the link and it'll take you straight there. Make sure that you catch up on any of the shows that you missed on my YouTube page at Angie Pat Boss Queen 1, or Amazon Music, Apple Music, iHeart, and Spotify as well. So I want you to guard your peace, keep your shields up, and remember to boss up. We'll be back up here in the morning, 8 a.m. sharp Eastern Standard Time, for the Ride to Work with Angie, where we get your heart pumping and your blood boiling as you are preparing for work, on your way to work, or pulling into the parking lot at work. So you guys start practicing the art of a healthy no, and I will see you next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. for part 8 of our Boundaries of Love series. But I'll see you in the morning for the Ride to Work with Angie. So be safe, guys. I know some of us are in different time zones. If you are still traveling home from work, safe travels. I pray sweet rest on tonight as you guys rest. Be blessed. And thank you so much for your support. It means so much. Make sure that you guys go over to Chilla Speaks, Chilla Spotlight, following the Boss Up Show tonight. And get real talk, real conversation. Don't forget, on Saturday, the His and Her show will be coming back, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This has been your girl, Angie Pat, a.k.a. The Boss, and you all have been on the Boss Up Show. God bless. And if nobody told you that they love you today, let me be the first to say I love you, but Jesus loves you best. We got a shirt over there in the store, in case you want to grab it. You better go over there and get one of them shirts. Have a good night, y'all.